Okay, so today we're going to do the second part to creating our shed in Revit. So you're going to go over and click on the Revit icon, and we're going to be opening the previous file that you worked on. Sometimes your particular file will show up here, but best to just go and say open and find your file. Okay, this is where we left off before. We had created our structure and created changed the properties of our wall and our roof. So everything looks good, and I have both of my browsers up here, Properties and Project Browser. Remember, if you don't have those up, go up to View, click down on User Interface, and select them here, okay? Oops, I added one accidentally. Okay, so we're going to start by clicking on the floor plan and zoom in so you can see your view here. You are going to be modifying walls in this particular case. Remember, we have this right side wall. As you can see, it's thicker. That's our brick wall, and then we have just basic walls for the rest of these areas. What I want you to do is click on your brick wall, the right side wall, and go over to your Properties browser, and you're going to click this Edit Type here. We're going to create our own wall type right now. I actually want the rest of the walls of my house or shed to have wood siding on it. So I'm going to create that. So I've got my brick right here. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say Duplicate. I'm going to name this Wood Siding. I'm going to click OK. So I just duplicated a wall. Now I'm going to go over here to Structure, and I'm going to hit Edit. That's going to bring me to this Edit Assembly dialog box. Right here, the current material for it is brick. So I'm going to click on that material, and I'm going to click on these three little dots here to allow me to choose a different type of material. I want wood siding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to this project materials. I'm going to click down, and I'm going to go down to wood, and I'm going to say, okay, here are all my different types of wood. I want plywood sheeting, okay? Because there is no siding option here. So I'm going to create a siding option. So I'm going to click on plywood sheathing, and then down at the bottom here is a little sphere. This actually allows you to create and duplicate materials. So I'm going to click down on it. I'm going to scroll to the Duplicate Selected Material, and a new Plywood Sheeting 1 comes up. So that is going to be my wood siding. And so I'm going to go over to the Identities tab up here, and I'm going to change the name of it to Wood Siding. Okay, I'm going to change the description to Wood Siding. And I'm going to hit Apply down here. Don't hit OK, just hit Apply. Now you're going to notice, now you've created this wood siding. Now go over to your Graphics tab, and you're going to click on this Pattern section. I'm going to give it a pattern. I want just a regular horizontal pattern right here. Horizontal pattern. And I'm going to click OK. So that will change right there. Hit Apply. And then go over to the Appearance tab. Right here, you're going to change the appearance of your wood siding, of what it's going to look like when you go into realistic view. So right now it shows you this laminate wood kind of image. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new image right here. So down in the bottom where you had the sphere. Right next to it is an asset browser. Click on that, and that opens up another dialog box with a bunch of different images. All right, click on your appearance library, double click, and you're going to get a bunch of different options here. You're going to scroll down until you see siding. Click on siding, and then over here you're going to scroll until you see wood horizontal cedar. This is the one I want, wood horizontal cedar. And you're going to, if you notice right here, there's a little arrow. So what that's going to do, if you notice where the image is here, under wood horizontal seating, when I click that arrow, my image changes to what this image is. Okay, so that is actually what I want. So I'm going to close out that browser. Now my image has changed, and this is what I want as my siding, my side panels on my my shed. So everything looks good here. I'm going to hit apply, and then I'm going to hit OK. Now everything looks good, except now that I've changed the material of what it's going to be, I'm going to go over to thickness, and I'm going to change this to 1/2 an inch. For siding, it's only 1/2 an inch thick. Okay, here are all your different layers of your wall. You've got your air layers, your membranes, your metal stud layer, everything. Okay, insulation, vapor retardant, everything. So the one thing we don't need is this thermal air layer. So how do you delete a layer? You're going to go over until you get to the row. You're going to click on the row until it highlights black, and you're going to say delete. You're just going to click the delete button, and it goes away. All right, we are done creating our wall. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit OK again. Make sure that this says wood siding up here. And I've changed this wall to wood siding. You can go into your 3D view and double check it. And if you notice, yes, it is changed to my wood siding. It's no longer brick. Now, go back to your floor plan. We're going to change the walls a bit. I want to keep that wall brick, and I want everything else to be siding. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my other walls, and to highlight all of them at the same time, I'll click one, I'll hold down the control button, and I will click on the other ones. Go over to your properties, click down on the down arrow up here where it says basic wall. You're going to scroll until you see your basic wall that you just created, which actually happens to be in this most recently used area. So it's this wood siding. Click that, and you have just changed those walls. Now click on the original wall, the original brick wall that you had just changed prior to this, and change that back to the brick on metal stud, the exterior brick on metal stud. Change that back to brick. I want one wall brick and the rest of them siding. Okay? So now I just did that. Now let's go over to your 3D view just to check. There we go. So everything looks good here. I've got my walls changed, and I've got my roof the way I want it. So we're going to start adding some doors and windows in here. Now to add your doors and windows, you're going to go to your floor view. All right? And then under the Architecture tab up at the top, click on Architecture tab. You've got a bunch of different components that you can add here. Here's the door. So let's click on Door, and let's go over to Load Family. We're going to load a particular type of door. There's a ton of components within the libraries. You just have to load them. So when you click on the Load Family over here, you're going to see doors in one of the folders. So double click on door, and you're actually going to scroll down to, I want to look for single panel 1. So I'm gonna, there we go. So I found single panel 1, and if you click on it, you'll notice an image of what it kind of looks like to the right there. Alright? So I'm gonna say OK, or open, and I've got a door that I can place anywhere. But before I place it, I actually want to click down, and I want a particular size of door. You've got tons of different sizes. I'm going to say I want a 34 by 80 inch. I'm going to click on that, and now I'm going to place my door. I want the doors to swing inward, and I want it evenly spaced, 6 foot apart on each end. Can you see that? And I'm going to go ahead and place my door. So there's my door. Remember these arrows, if you press the arrows, they will flip the door in different directions. Okay? So, next thing I want to do, I'm just going to hit escape here. Click on my arrow. I'm going to go back to my architecture tab, and I want to add in windows. So right next to door is the windows option. You can actually add any kind of window you want. Go to load family, click on windows, and when you click on these windows, you're going to be able to see different windows pop up here, how they actually look. So choose whichever kind of window you want, and you can also change the sizes here, remember. And I'm going to, let's see, 36. Go ahead and I'm going to place them 2 on the top side. And also, if you notice, when I placed this, my arrow is showing out, which means the window is going out. On this one, the window is going in, so I'll have to change that. I want a window on this side, and I want a window over here. And remember, you can change the dimensions afterwards as well. Just gonna click on my arrow again, click on this window, which I need to flip to the other side, and it's flipped. There we go. So go to your 3D view just to make sure everything looks right, and there are my windows that I have added in here. Okay, and there's my door. I can orbit around and see how I've added everything. Alright, so you added doors, you added windows, and you changed your style of your walls. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to start creating sheets. So over on your project browser, you're going to see an option here for sheets. Okay, these are going to be your plan sheets, your design sheets that hold all your details of your design, your floor plans, your roof plans, your elevation views, everything. So let's create a sheet. Click on the sheet's text right here, and then right click and say new sheet. This new sheet dialog box is going to pop up. In the top right, click the load button. Now we're going to load a title block. So scroll down until you see a folder called title blocks. Double click on that and go to the 11 by 17 horizontal. This is the sheet that we want. We're going to say open. Make sure that it's highlighted up there, and then click open. And now we've just created a sheet on our plan. If you go and click on the plus sign on your project browser to sheets, you'll see this sheet named right here, and you can actually rename it if you would like. Okay? Now, you can also go in here and put your own name. You can put the project name. I believe this one in the assignment was called utility shed. I'm just going to put house project. Alright, let's go ahead and start putting stuff on this plan sheet. So, to put views on this plan sheet, basically what this plan sheet is going to show are different views of different levels that you've already created on your design. So, let's put a 3D view onto this design. Go over to your project browser, left click on your 3D view. Don't double click, just left click. Hold it down and drag it over onto the sheet. I'm going to put it in this right side here. And when you let go, you're going to see the box that it's going to show up in. I'm going to find a place for it, and then I'm going to just click to place it. There is my 3D view. Okay? Now, in addition to my 3D view, I want to put one of my floor views. So let me double click on my floor view. First of all, let me put in some dimensions so that I have some detail in this plan. Up at the top here, you can actually click on, let's see, you can annotate things. Up at the very, very top, there's actually an option for dimensions, and you can place dimensions. So if I click on this top line and I click on this bottom line of my wall, I can bring out a dimension. Okay, and if I click on this left side wall and the right side center wall, I can bring out my other dimension. You can also click center of the window to the edge and bring it out, but that's just optional. Okay, and so these are just different details. I'm going to hit escape so I get out of this, that can show builders or contractors exactly how the image is intended to be built. Okay, so let's create a view box. So under floor plan, you're going to have to create a box to view this when we drag it over into our sheet. So down at the bottom here, you're actually going to click this button that says Show Crop Region, which is right next to the glasses, to the left of the glasses. When I click that, can't really see it, so you have to scroll out because it's a huge box, okay? This is so big, we actually want to change the size of this. So go up and click, if you're still in this measuring tool, go up and click your arrow or hit escape, and then click on the box. Once you click on the box, you're going to notice you can adjust the size of this box. So change the size of your box. And just make it so that it really just fits around your actual floor plan of what you've done. Okay, so here's our box. Now that you have this box around it, you can actually turn that box off. So right next to the, right here, it's called Hide Crop Region, which is the same one that we just clicked. So click that again, and your box will turn off. It's just hidden there, okay? So now go back to your sheet and try to drag the same way that you did your 3D view, your floor view, into your sheet view, and just place it. Now, there you should have a nice sheet view of your floor plan. Alright, there's one other thing that we didn't do, and I wanted to actually change the size of this. Let me go back to my floor view, and instead of 1/8 of an inch is equal to 1 foot, this should be 1/4 of an inch is equal to 1 foot, and then hit apply. Okay, so now let's go back to our sheet view. Okay, so now when we did that and we changed that, you can see that the actual floor view became bigger over here. All right, you can click on things individually too, by the way, to move them around. All right, so we've got a floor view here and our 3D view. Now I actually want to put in some of my elevation views. All right, so how do we put in elevation views? So we do that by the same exact way. Let's look at our east view. Okay, if I want this to be my east view, first let me see if I can just drag it in, and if that will. Actually, you know what? Click on the east view. Let's look at our crop region here. Show crop region, and it's showing you the entire thing. We don't want that. You don't want a long rectangle in there. So crop it to just where your shed or your house is. Okay? Perfect. Now hide it again. Hide your crop region. Click on it again. And we'll do this view with the door, and then let's look at maybe a side view, and let's change this crop view as well, our north view. So here's my crop box. I'm just changing it to make it smaller. And then I'm going to hide it, and I'm pretty much good to go. Now let's go back to our sheet view. Let's drag our east view in here. I'll just put it underneath of that view. Then let's drag our north view in here. Let's place it, and you are all set. You have some different elevation views, you've got your floor view, and you've got your 3D rendered view. Alright? So, you are almost done. What I'm going to have you do right now is go back to your floor view. We're going to add in a wall to your house. Okay? We're going to add another wall right in the center here to make this like it's 2 rooms. So go up to your architecture tab and click on the wall. Click on the wall tool here. We're just going to put a basic generic wall in the middle here. Anywhere in the middle, click on one of your walls and center to center. Click on the other wall. Okay, now hit escape, and you've just created a wall in the middle of your place. Now let's create a door to get to this other room that we have here, okay? Click on the door component under architecture, and you've got some single panel doors here. Got a couple single flush doors. So let's use a single flush door for this one if you just scroll up from single panel. And let's make it a 30 by 80 inch. And you can just place it anywhere along here. And again, you want to make sure your doors and your swings in a certain way where it's the most easy. So, oops, I hit escape. So let me just go back and click. Yeah, I just hit escape. I went and hit modify. I'm going to click on my door. I can move my door, by the way, right here. I'm going to make it close to the wall, and I'm going to swing it the other direction and up against this side wall, so that kind of gives people the option to walk in here and then flow easily into the next room. Okay? So I just created another wall there. Now, problem. When I go in to my 3D view, you're going to notice that my wall that I've just created, which is 20 feet high, is going through my roof, right? Well, if I changed this to 8, it's not going to quite hit the top of my roof though, right? It'll stop right here at the 8-inch wall height. So what I want to do is I actually want to click on my wall. It might already be selected, and go up to this Modify Walls tab, and there it will say Attach Top Base. Okay? Click on that, and you're telling the computer, you're telling the software to take that wall and to attach it to the roof. Click on the roof. Hover over the roof and click on the roof, and your wall will attach naturally. You can actually see it in there, attached to your roof. Okay? So, you are pretty much finished. Okay? You go to your if you deleted this roof, don't do this, but I'm just to show you, if you highlighted your roof, you're going to see how your wall connects now to your roof. Let me see. Okay? Alright. So, now, if you go back to your sheet, what we're going to do is I want to make some grass and trees and other things around my house. So this is the area where you kind of just play with it, and you're going to play with your landscape. So under your floor plan, there's a level called Site. If you double click on Site, you're going to see your house, and this is your roof right here, and these are your walls. There's a wall inside. I want you to start placing some trees and some grass and various other things, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Under the components under architecture, if you click on components and you go and say load family, there is an option here for planting, I believe. Okay, so if you double click on planting, you're going to see tropical plants, shrubs, different types of trees. So I'm just going to, if it says that, you can overwrite the existing. Oops, actually, I accidentally hit escape, so I'm going to go back to components. I'm going to click down, and I had just input these trees, so you can actually look and choose a type of tree that you want, and you can start placing trees around your house. I'll show you how to make grass at another time. I'm just going to put a couple, oops, that tree is extremely big, so I'm going to cancel that. Click on it and you can just delete it. I'm going to add some shrubs in that I can put around my house. So planting and then shrub. Okay, so let's see. Here's some shrubs. So I'm just going to kind of place some stuff around here. Alright. I'm going to hit escape to get out of this. Escape, escape. Oh gosh. Okay, go back to one. Okay. So now let's go to 3D view. And you're going to see that now I'm slowly putting in some trees, and it's starting to look more like a rendered structural building, right? With the landscape and various other things you can put in floor. You can put in concrete and grass and all of that. So we'll do that another time. And even these shrubs and things, if you go to your sheet view, you'll be able to see them in your sheet view too. And you might even, oops, escape. Gosh. You're going to notice them in all of your views. So maybe I don't want them in all of my views. Let me go to my 3D. I'm going to actually orbit around this so that you get a nicer view of the trees and my house. Alright, I'm going to keep it that way. And then on my sheet, you can actually hide these different layers. So let me go to my floor plan. I'm going to hide this. So let's see. So there's this glasses here, okay? You can click the glasses and you can say hide category. And so I hid the whole category of all of those trees. And I can look at my roof. I can do the same thing here. I can say, click on that and say hide category, and I've hid all of my categories in my roof. I can go to my elevation views and do the same thing. I can click on it and then say hide category, and it'll hide everything in the planting category, and I'll do the same thing for my north view. Click on it, go to hide category, and then hopefully there you go. In your sheet plan, those are all hidden in those different levels except for your realistic view. Okay? Alright, so this part is finished. Thanks, guys. I will see you in the next video. Or I won't see you, actually. You'll just hear me. Oh, also, make sure that you save this. Make sure you're saving throughout. In fact, don't wait till the end to save it. And you can actually just hit save now that you've already created your folder and created your file. Okay? And then you can close it out.